Greetings.
Greetings.
Okay. Well, we just got as you were coming in, is that a divider?
Yeah. Behind me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one of my grandmas. It was a Asian piece.
Yeah,
I
this is like
should
a,
pull that out and put it in the dining room.
you
Yeah, I
should.
used to
Yeah.
love those.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a two-way thing. It's two different patterns. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
So what
You know,
I know you had sent me a inbox. Man, this was so shocking when because I get all of those alerts and all of
yeah.
my media stuff, and then quite naturally with the Amigos being based here,
Hmm.
it was a big deal early.
Yeah.
And we're talking like a dice game, which is I I don't know. I mean,
But
I guess
the
they
thing about it,
they are they still continuing their lifestyle or their behavior before they, you know what I'm saying,
you
before
know,
they made it big.
it just seems like they're trying to stay relevant in their hood. You know, you can't go back to the hood and play dice. These is hood Negroes, hood people. They got guns. They gonna shoot whoever they want to shoot. There's jealousy. We saw in the video Quavo was arguing with somebody about something, but it's like y'all can't go back to the hood. Send some money to the hood. They want to, be relevant, still relevant but you can't go around the commoners. And that's no
and
disrespect to the
and
other
then
ones,
the
but
the aspect of like, and I get, because Atlanta is somewhat well, and they were in Houston, but um some of the celebrities, unlike when they're in, like, say, New York, or when they're
mhm,
in Miami or LA, a lot of them, we can just walk right up on them.
mhm,
We can, yeah,
yeah,
that they, for a lot of them, this is home. Just like Sunday, Chris Tucker, we go to the same church. Chris, a, a good amount of the time,
yeah.
is by himself. Um, I mean, I in Atlanta, you almost can run into a celebrity, almost on a daily basis. During the gospel music workshop,
Yeah.
um, well, Stellar's weekend, Yolanda Adams was walking down Peachtree.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
she walked right out. Her and one other lady walked
Mhm.
right out of the front door of the Hyatt. They wanted to go get something to eat, and here it
But
is. And so I'm trying to figure out, is it, and I don't even know if security, because sometimes you just want to be with your boys, or just
yeah, but see
kind of
that
hang out.
Yolanda Adams and Amigos, that's a totally different crowd. I'm sorry. No. No.
Well, okay, well, Chris Tucker,
He's
or
a totally different type. Also, he's just a comedian. I mean, he's not repping this, and these rappers. They can't put down the game. They gonna rap the Crips or the Bloods, but they not gonna talk about it. But the hood knows who they repping, so they go out and there you go. So the Stellar Awards or whatever, yeah, I see them all around walking, but that's totally different. These are some
Well,
hoods.
okay, so our district attorney, Fannie, says that YSL is a gang
Right.
and that a lot of the rappers and a lot of the music is uh gang related and
Hmm.
sending messages and signals and
I don't know about that. I'm not gonna go with that. I can't get with that part of it. Um, they're artists. They create
yeah,
and
but
they write.
see, they rapping about that life,
Yeah,
and it's some serious stuff in those lyrics sometimes, and
yeah,
and see a lot of those uh they use they still use music the way we clap back on social media,
true. That's true. Yeah,
and so I don't know, man. It's just like I mean, you think about what's his name, girlfriend or baby's mama. She got shot out here at the bowling alley in
oh yeah.
Midtown. I mean, we're constantly, having someone. And see, the thing about it is, those guys aren't changing.
No,
The only
no.
thing that is changed is their money, their life, and their access. But they're still they're still that boy from the hood.
Yeah, yeah. But see, but they have to stop. You can't go back to the hood all the time.
But
You
see,
can't go.
but that's who they are,
Yeah,
and they not only are they going back, but they're still actively living and participating in that kind of lifestyle.
you know what
And
the sad part?
it's not fantasy, and it's not, what I'm saying, when you start pulling out guns and firing weapons, it ain't
Yeah.
fantasy, it ain't play no more. You know what I
Mm-mm.
mean? It's real. It's not a director that's gonna say cut and everybody get
Yeah.
up and go
And
on.
shake yourself
You
off and
got
walk
your
on. Yeah.
Glock, because I think about, so many. And now in Georgia, it's legal to carry a concealed weapon.
I'm with that though. I'm with all that.
But 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 isn't it dangerous though?
It is, but you know what? It's just like they had guns over there. You need you one. I'm serious. I'm with it.
But see, then you get into the point where it's like cowboys and Indians.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everybody has got a gun,
Yeah.
and the moment that a temper flares,
That's where you go.
exactly, and you have that very serious potential, to,
Yeah.
and so I sometimes it makes me wonder where, is it, I mean, I am for protecting myself, and I'm for people protecting themselves. But it is getting to a point where I'll say this. I hate that I'm saying that. I'm putting that handle on everything. COVID did something to people.
Hmm. Yeah.
COVID and Chris, being locked down for almost 2 years,
It
shut
changed
in
our
the house.
psyche.
It
Yeah.
changed the exactly. It changed
Yeah.
the whole, the idea of not holding the door for a person, the idea
Yeah.
of you running to the elevator and hitting for it to close, and
Yeah. Don't want to be in the
not
elevator with
wait
nobody.
or hold the door for somebody. I mean, and so you have a a detachment.
Yeah, yeah,
Young, middle, old, you have a detachment for other human beings that you once had.
yeah.
And so
Even with,
now you have a lot of people with a lot of pent up aggression, that they're mad, they're angry, they're hostile.
and people have built up a lot of anxiety with being afraid of dying, afraid of getting sick. So the anxiety can manifest itself in a lot of different ways. Even when you start going out, I mean, anything can agitate you. Anything could, So yeah, COVID had a really interesting impact on all of us.
It really did. And it has totally had a very dangerous and deleterious effect on society. And it has
Yeah.
really caused us it has really broken society. And it was already um, not as value on life that it should have been, and it's really not there now. I mean, people just do not have any level of compassion. Um, don't break your car down.
You'll be
I'm
stranded.
serious.
Yeah, yeah.
Do not. I'm gonna ask you this because you're in my home state. Do you Are you apprehensive after dark?
Um, I really can't say that I am. Of course, I'm in Fresno. I know you think there's only about two black people here, but the crime rate in Fresno is a little ridiculous.
Really?
But yeah, but I'm really not apprehensive. I go and do and move.
I am, and I love regular time. I like it's dark at 7 o'clock. I don't like daylight
Yeah,
savings time. And I'm gonna be very frank with you. At at night, I mean, well, I'm cautious all the time, but
yeah,
at night I am far more I'm far more conscious and aware. I don't get gas at night.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
get gas at night. I make very um very limited movement. Like if I'm going to an event, if it's a Hawks game or something like that, well, generally I'm there before the sun goes down. But I'm just I'm very limited with movement um,
yeah.
at night. It's so it's too much going on. You know what I mean? It's just, it's
But
calmed down
as
some
a
now.
blogger and the type of blogging that you do you think that has a little bit to do with your?
I have since very much so.
Hmm.
Every since this career, um, well, I was blogging and people didn't know what blogging was and they didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
It was not until the Juanita story. And then I used to blog and I would blog about entertainment stuff and then I would blog about church stuff. And then when Thomas jumped on Juanita, then the two worlds collided.
Right.
And from that point on, when people started knowing who I was, yeah, yeah, I'm very conscious of it, because the thing that happens is that you have people that I have talked about, um, and you may not even be connected to that person in any kind of way. You just like them,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and then they internalize the story. Like
Right. Right.
I would never take public transit.
Right.
Like, it's certain things that is this whole thing is a part of my life. I mean, it wouldn't even it's not even a question for me to go and and jump on a train
So you're not going to be on the bus like the pastor.
uh never. I wasn't. It was some stuff that I wasn't gonna do just as a private citizen,
Right.
but
Right.
it
Exactly.
sure is not. Um, I'll tell you something else I don't do. I don't go. I generally will not go in anywhere that is not um okay, like say at the mall,
Mm-hmm.
like if I go to Lennox or go to Phipps and stuff like that, like I'm not going to no bathroom.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-mm. I'm not, and you
Well,
know what I'm
those
saying?
listen here. Those
I
bathrooms,
I'll pee outside or in the car in the cup before.
but they be don't they be cutting up in them bathrooms.
Well, I mean, I see. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like I it's certain. I am always aware and concerned with my environment and my surroundings. Like
Yeah.
at all times, it is, it's not even, it's just a part of the makeup. It's just a part
Right.
of, I don't, like, like going in place or sitting with with your back to the
Back to
door,
yeah. Yeah.
are places where it's, limited, exits,
Yeah.
in and out,
Yeah.
like all of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff is, always, it's not necessarily bad. It's not necessarily good either. But it's always it's a part of who I am now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think
Yeah.
that just goes along with being a public person, because even just as a private citizen, I think people need to just totally be aware
Yeah.
and alert. I mean, we have people that, we got mass shootings at churches, we have mass
Right.
shootings at schools. So
Yeah.
you don't know, where you can be at any given point. And it's not just maybe because I'm a blogger, but at any given point or time, something can uh, jump off,
Yeah. Yeah.
and and when I remember, I'm trying to think where we were. I'm trying to think. We were in a national. I'm gonna even say this as some. Not that I'm concerned about violence, at our COGIC meetings, but I have been to some of our meetings and I can gauge my popularity.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I have been at some of our meetings, and I couldn't even imagine what it would be like to be one of the Clark sisters.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
and 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 before uh Drew even before he was on the and I don't mean any disrespect when I say, because I know I got a lot of people on here, so I don't mean any disrespect when we call him by his middle name. We grew up
Yeah.
calling him that, but um even now that he's the presiding bishop, and Karen is our first lady, they quite naturally have security assigned to them. But before then, you could see Karen and Dorinda just walking through
Yeah. Yeah.
walking through the galleys, just like like everyone else.
And
And
people,
what
but
I my
people are
point
crazy. You just
yeah,
can't
but
trust
my
them.
point is, in Columbus, I started knowing that I was popular when we were at AIM in Birmingham. We were at AIM in Birmingham, and I was walking with Mother. I had Mother Sheard and Aunt Jenny, Mother Virginia Dijon. I had both of them, and we were walking through the convention center, and Mother Shear turned and asked me. She said, "Who are you, McCray? Who are you?" And I Jenny said, "Willie made a boy's a celebrity." And I was, and because a lot of the young kids that followed me and followed my blog, they were stopping us for pictures and what have you.
Yeah.
And and at first I was thinking, I said, "Oh, they stopping because this is Bishop Sheard's
Bishop
mom,
Ship. Yeah,
God
right,
rest
right,
her
right, right.
soul," and Aunt Jenny, and they was like, no, and I just said, "No, boy, they stopping us for you." And then we
Wow.
went outside, and it was an ice cream truck, and my Mother Shear bought ice cream for a whole bunch of. I think she spent almost $200 or $300 on ice cream for a whole bunch of the young folks that was surrounding us. And I'm
They
trying to
had the
get them
money.
to the van so we could
Yeah.
get back to the hotel, so we could get back for church. But it's been a couple of times that it has, it has gotten a little overwhelming. It's been a couple of times in like St. Louis. Um, One of the police officers in St. Louis would actually escort me because
Mm,
it would be, and not that anybody was trying to do nothing. It's just you can't walk down that red carpet without folks
yeah.
stopping you for pictures. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I be trying to get to the van so I can
Right.
get. And I don't even
So
know how much longer I'm gonna be able to do that.
so what do you anticipate the vibe of the convention this year? Do you
I
think a lot of
don't
people are
know.
going?
I don't know. I mean, it's so much talk about it. You got the whole thing with registration, whether or not you're going to be able to get in, whether or not you're not going to be able to get in. You got, all of that talk going
So I
on.
hear they're
So,
shutting down rooms. Like if you didn't book a room through the convocation, then they canceled your room at that hotel. And people are calling, checking on their rooms. Are they getting emails saying that your reservation has been canceled? Please book it through the Church of God in Christ.
well, that's one. You had uh, that kind of thing transpire. But okay, this is the thing. We're not going to the FedEx. We're not going in FedEx at
Right.
all. Everything is going to
Mm,
be in Cook. Even with the construction of how they have changed Cook, you can't
mm.
at max, it may be 7,000 seats.
They may not even fill that.
Now, but see, this is the thing. This is the part that you have to understand. Our numbers had tremendously fallen
hmm Yep.
our last year, 2019, you could, everybody's making all these complaints, but they wasn't there. In 2019, you could take rice and
Mm.
throw it,
Not hit
and
nobody.
they kept making the illusion. I want to say, what was the year that when we had Noel Jones and we had TD Jakes, and then the year that we have watched the stage go from the 50-yard line, because that's where the Rams used to play.
Yeah.
So our stage has gone from the 50-yard line back to the 30, back to
Mm.
20. And then, 2019, we might have been at the 20th yard line. I mean, it was very small. And then you looked up in the balcony and it wasn't that many people there at all.
Yeah.
So, a lot of folks want to moan and complain and groan and complain and what have you, uh, that just that was not coming. And
You got some
so,
people on. Thais came on. Hey, Thais.
oh, is it? Hey, hey,
Yeah.
hey. So, that they're moaning and complaining and saying this and saying that, but they wasn't there. So this is the thing: you got to be registered to get into the convention center, and then by a certain time, if you're not in there and in your seat, then they're going to open it up to
Oh wow.
to the public, or what have you. And so 7,000.
Mm.
I Now this is the only thing that I was thinking. I was thinking that people are going to be hyped because we're going back to Memphis. And then you have different demographic, because you got some people, you got to figure, we were in St. Louis, what, 12 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bishop Blake was presiding bishop 14, and I think the last 12 years we were in St. Louis. So
Hmm.
you got, theoretically, you almost got a generation of people that have never been to St.
Never been
Louis.
to
I mean,
Memphis.
never
Yeah.
been to Memphis for a convocation, that doesn't know what it's like to sit in Mason Temple and some of that. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be um, it's the one thing that I can say about our church is that it's a constant. You know that the leaders are going to definitely be there, and the diehard, Church of God. But to be honest with you, Matt, the rates are astronomical.
Yeah.
The
That's crazy.
flights, the
Yeah.
flights are astronomical. The hotel rates
Yeah.
are, I mean, it's November. It's right after the first. I mean, it is, to have to pay upwards of 200, almost $300 a night with
But you know
tax.
what y'all do? You know what COGICs do? Don't no bills get paid in November. They taking it all to convocation, and they gonna come back and be broke, homeless, hungry.
I think about it and I just wonder, I don't even know how we did it, because you come right back. Like, I normally don't get back from convocation. I normally come back that same week of Thanksgiving,
Oh,
depending on how the dates and the calendar falls. And I mean, and you come out of convocation right into Thanksgiving, right into, the holiday. I
yeah.
just don't even know how, for years, that it's been a constant and a part of our lives, and we just do it. Yeah,
Just
you
do
know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah.
We just, you just do it, and just figure it out and make it work. I
You,
but I don't know. I was somewhat disappointed to hear that we weren't going into FedEx.
yeah.
I was some point, but you still just don't know how many people are going to come.
He said the pawn shop's gonna be popping. They gonna get there.
Oh,
They
oh
gonna get
yeah. I
there.
mean, you know, I don't. I mean, it's the Saints are gonna walk, crawl,
Oh yeah.
plane, train, automobile.
But you know what I'm
You
ready
know,
for? I need Mr. Myron Williams to step up to the plate. Let's see what he gonna do. Is this his first?
this is gonna be his first convocation.
Yeah, so it's time. I'm gonna be interested to see what's gonna transpire.
Everybody, everybody, and the unfortunate part is this whole entire administration is gonna have to really bring it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
More
And it can't
so.
be. I don't. I'm not talking about we need a Kiera show. I love her, but I need you to expand
But
Myron
I don't
and.
know. I don't think Kiera did a whole lot of singing.
But I'm just. It's the convocation. So and she's the second
She's
to
a
him or
VP, but
VP. Yeah,
she's a VP. But in AIM, I don't. She directed, which is common for one of the VP. Like
yeah,
I don't really, and maybe I'm just oblivious to it. But one, we haven't had that many meetings since he's been in office, and then two, um, I just don't think that they have really. I don't think that they have really been hammered down our throats like that.
hmm it'll be interesting to
Now, like
see.
I'm gonna say this, ain't nobody been no worse than okay. So every department had their own music person.
Yeah,
Okay, so even though Iris, even though Livonia, and okay, you had Livonia Whitley, then you had Iris Stevenson,
Stevenson.
and then we had Judy Christie McAllister in my lifetime. And
hmm
so, but for Mother Rivers, she always, Betty Ransom Nelson was her point to
Right.
person for the music,
hmm
for the women's department, and for the women's convention, and for the women's services. So, I mean, what's that girl name that died? Uh, what was Betty's
Eventer.
daughter name that died?
Uh,
Albanita,
Ev-
Albertina,
Avenida.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she said Betty put that girl up every single night during the women's meeting
Right. Right.
until Judy got rid of her. Every night, every single night,
mm.
Albertine, that girl was going to sing every night of the women's convention, it without fail. The same way when Maddie was the music president, and she was gonna put up her daughters,
Yep.
the Clark
Yep.
sisters.
hmm
Either all of them was gonna sing, or one or two of them, but every night they was gonna
I
sing,
guess that's why
and
Betty
so
did
that's
it.
so, and
She
they
said,
did.
Maddie did it. I'ma do it.
And so I don't know. Maybe, but no, but see, the thing about it is he gonna want to sing a lot. See, he
Yeah.
gonna want to
Well,
sing
yeah, he's gonna sing about
with
60 or
his red
70%.
glasses. What that meme of
Thais call him red glasses.
Nene glasses?
Red glasses.
Yeah, and then everybody was sitting out that meme from Nene said, "Well, hold up, glasses."
Hold up, wig.
So
Hold up,
he
glasses.
gonna be wanting to sing.
Yeah.
He gonna,
Mm.
and so we gonna. I mean, but they have a lot of pressure on them.
hmm
They got a
Yeah, there's
lot
a
of
lot of
pressure on them
pressure.
because this is going to be the first rodeo, even
Yeah.
more so than women's convention, and we're back home. He's the presiding bishop. It's a whole new administration, everybody that is in these positions are new, and they gonna have to. I mean, they gonna have to bring it, because you're rolling right out of this into an election next year, and
So
so
next
it's
year is
going to
the
be
election.
interesting.
So next year's the election.
Well, the General Assembly will vote and decide. You have the chairman is trying to push to 2025, and then you have a lot of constituency in the church that wants it to remain on the regular quadrennial calendar that it is on
So
now.
that sounds to
But
me they
they're
want to get it.
saying that because he was not consecrated until uh what was it with 2022, when did we, yeah, so
Yeah,
it was April, so they're saying that it should spill over, so
they want
because
to
he
push
has
it
to
out
have a
another
full
year.
4 years of
Yeah, push it out
term. So
another.
it'll be interesting to see how they fight that out. And then we vote for the chairman, which I think he's running unopposed, because the David Jordan, who was going to run against him, I don't think they approved him to be able to run. So um, if and Thuston has a way of controlling that General Assembly to move
Yeah.
what he wants. So it's going to be the whole thing is going to be very. It's going to be very, very interesting.
Well, before I get out of here, did you
Yeah,
look at the video of Leandria saying she's an alcoholic last week?
you know what? Somebody sent it to me, and I didn't even get all the way through it. I think my phone rang. But was that any new information?
No, no,
I mean,
no.
when she said it, I- we were aware. I mean,
Yeah,
we knew
very
that from
aware.
Layala.
Yeah, very well. Yeah, I guess she's going to say she's going to go into treatment again.
Oh, she's going to. So what she's saying is that she's going to rehab.
Yeah, that she's going to get some help. Yeah.
So was that her way of addressing the Kyrie thing?
Yeah, yeah, you got to cover it all up with a whammy. You know how we do.
But see, the problem is that the church, and we have to, I guess we have to be careful with how we handle it and how we respond, because the catch 22 is, and especially for somebody like myself, so if I come out and crucify her
Yeah, yeah.
for being a drunk, then everybody's going to jump on the bandwagon. See, we can't be transparent. Ooh, we can't keep it 100. Ooh, we can't, you
that's
know what I'm
why.
saying?
Yeah, that's why I
So
don't say
because
nothing.
you're gonna have judgmental,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? But we don't how many we don't need no junkies singing the gospel.
Well, like they say down there, they thought Ayana didn't Ayana fix her life?
Well, I think Ayala was good.
Yeah.
I think Ayala really identified one thing that I liked about Layala. Layala honed in and brought national attention to the Robert Hatcher situation.
But you know
And
what? And then she goes right back to him. And then she starts
well, see
drinking
that, but
again.
anybody that it, but that's that Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
Anybody that has been abused,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we
Mm-hmm.
get comfortable in our abuse, and we
Yeah.
don't know how to leave it. And then when you do leave, or when you try to leave, freedom and being strong, it's just like all of the all the boys that like boys and toys that's sitting up in Pentecostal churches
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
historically have done it, and is trained and go straight and know their situation and go
Yeah.
straight into these, dogmatic, um, uh, traditional Pentecostal churches
Yeah.
and situations, and and know that who they are. That's why so many of them be wanting to commit suicide, be
Yeah.
having nervous breakdowns, just like
It
this
is.
boy right here running around with the bra on.
Yeah.
So now that that's out,
Yeah.
is he gonna want to kill himself again next week?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Till
know,
it
you know
blows
what I'm
over.
saying. Look at so many that we can go countless down. So you fall in love, and then we get so anesthetized by the situation that we don't even feel like you had church unless you've been in that kind of environment.
Somebody said just redip the whole doggone church. Redip everybody.
You know what? So they can why? So they can be wet. Y'all
Wet
getting wet with screwing. So
and
we
get up
don't
and
we don't
screw.
need to. We no. We don't. It
Yeah.
it it's not what has happened is we have brought the problem is come as you are,
Mm-hmm.
and the deleterious effect that people like Kirk Franklin chipped away at our foundation, destroyed our traditions and our principles under this auspices and this lie that you were going to win souls and that
You
you were
blaming Kirk?
reaching. Oh, I think he had a lot to do with it. Come as you are, as you can get another glass. Come as you are. Come as you are. Um, coming out of the traditions of our black church, whether it was, Pentecostal, Baptist, AME, it was just some traditions that we had. You got dressed up on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Your mama
Mm-hmm.
put on her hat and her stockings, and your mama and your daddy and the family went out as a family to church. You don't even see when do you see people on Sunday just dressed up?
Never. The church that I used to be the minister of music for here, one of the churches, I mean, he's about the only church that I know that still makes his staff wear suits and still dresses up for church.
And
He,
and 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 COGIC churches, and not even that many, we're the only ones that are still dressed and looking
yeah,
like convocation on Sunday morning.
yeah,
And I mean, the way that I dress, like if I run to the grocery store or going into restaurants or what have you, folks is like, whoa, it's just like and I remember growing up, it was common
that
when
was
you
common.
stopped at the red light, you looked over and you saw your family was dressed up, they were
Yep.
dressed up. It was just, at the restaurant, it was just commonplace. Now that's uncommon. And it's been chipped away and chipped away. And the come as you are and look like, I can come in looking like a tramp, trollop, whore, or whatever, it has broke down into the behavior of the parishioner as well as the pastor.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and we consistently and constantly make. Now this is the part that needs to be examined. Let's examine this part without killing Leandria.
Okay.
How? What is wrong where you can be sitting in church and ministering about somebody you don't know and you don't have any kind of relationship with.
What do you mean?
Just what I said. You
Oh, you talking
cannot,
about as in
she
Christ?
cannot know God.
Okay, gotcha.
She cannot fully know the Lord and be a functioning alcoholic. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe she's gifted, she's not anointed, and
Mm-hmm.
you cannot know God and be a functioning drunk or alcoholic and practicing. You cannot know God and be a functioning and practicing homosexual
Well, it's not about
and
knowing.
still
It's not about
no,
knowing God.
okay, the reason why you can't do it,
Mm-hmm.
the reason why you can't do it is very simple. The Bible says righteousness exalts a nation and sin is a reproach to any people. You cannot know him and be a reproach to him at the same time. You can't do
Well,
it. And that's what the problem is. That we have discovered it right there. What we have said, what we have said is that you can live and be in any kind of situation that you want to be in, and you still see now it's a fad. Everybody go to church. Everybody got to, you know what I'm saying? We rep going to church like people rep going to a
but
HBCU.
see, that's the issue, though, William. It's not
Okay.
about knowing God. These people know church. That's what they build their foundation on.
No,
Church,
Leandri,
not
you're
God.
not talking. No, you're wrong, my brother. We're not talking about somebody that was in the world that came into church.
She been
We're
in the
talking
church.
about a woman that grew up church.
I know.
You see what I'm saying? Okay, I could buy into your hypothesis if we did not have these deplorable things happening to people that are born and reared in church.
It's because
Okay?
they connected onto church. They haven't found God. That's the issue.
Well, what in the hell have you been doing since you was 5 or 6 or 7 years old?
Doing what your mama told you to do, what your daddy told you to do, mocking, looking at other saints in the church and just doing what they do, not really focusing in on God and a relationship. That's why there's a breakdown now as you get older, because you didn't have true foundation. You had true church. That's what I'm saying.
I disagree with that. I think what happened, I think the church has remained, the church and the Lord is true. I think that I think we ripped away, our ripping away at some of the fundamentals
Oh
of
yeah,
church
we
and
have.
of our traditions in church and our values and standards has caused us to get to a place where now all of this, no one can tell anybody anything. No
Yeah.
one can correct anybody. Like when you had, when it was a time where if things was found out, you went before your, okay, let me tell you how, I'm gonna give you this as a perfect example. And he gets upset. Before I shared this, William Murphy and I were friends. I was friends
Mm.
with a lot of people. William Murphy and the Dream Center And and oh God, is going to rip that wound open.
Sometimes you just got to go ahead.
William Murphy and Dream Center was started out of rebellion.
Right. Right.
Okay, Bishop Eddie Long, William Murphy had an affair, and Chana got pregnant. She was an attorney. She lived in D.C. She died. She had a seizure or stroke or a heart attack or something, turning the key to go in her door in her townhouse, and she hit the floor and she was dead before her body touched the ground.
Woo.
But before that girl died, she was his manager. And William, I can't think of that song that he sang, and
Praise is
Bishop
what I do.
Long, I think that's what it was. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
the song. And Bishop Long loved that song, and he was the praise and worship leader because Byron had left. You
Mm-hmm.
remember?
I remember that.
Byron left. Byron had the group, and you remember he had them four big fat women that sang behind him.
Purpose. Was it
Down.
Byron and Purpose?
See, come on now. See, let me give you the etymology of the
Oh
thing. You know,
yeah,
I know the
yeah,
history.
yeah.
His career took off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that was 96. That was the year a lot of them was diagnosed.
With
His
what?
career took. They was diagnosed, and his career
With a
took off.
curable or incurable?
With something, and
Okay.
his career took off. Bishop Long church started busting at the seam, and he was leaving Snapfinger Woods, where Cynthia Hale is now,
Mm.
and was started building the New Birth where he died. And first he started with the gymnasium. Okay, so that album started taking off, and then William Murphy came over there. William Murphy did that song, Praise Is What I Do, and Bishop Long took William Murphy all over the world with him.
Mm.
Everywhere Bishop Long went in the United States of America as well as internationally, he took William, and William Murphy sang Praise Is What I Do before he got up, and that man's career took off. He had
Oh
an
yeah.
affair on his wife with
Mm-hmm.
Chana. Chana got pregnant. Bishop Long, who was one of the last men that still had a standard, he set William Murphy down. He set William Murphy down. William Murphy was down. William Murphy was down. He set William Murphy down. William Murphy, I think, sat down for one Sunday.
Mm.
And then that's when he went over off the Howe Mill Road. And he got that little multi-purpose room over there on DeForest Place. He got
Mm.
that multi-purpose room, and he started the Dream Center in that room. He's now he may not, and people may not ever admit it or say that it was out of rebellion. They may dress it up and put another phrase or another word on it, but that was how Dream Center was birthed. Chana eventually, out of the pressure and all of the contractual stuff, and the stress, she miscarried and she
Mm.
lost that child. And I really think the whole trajectory of her life and William's life would have been very different had that baby not died, because she was hell bent on having it. And so That was how Dream Center started. But my point was, even though we found out later on that Bishop Long, was just as bad, and maybe that was the reason that William left, because he may have
Yeah.
known
Yeah.
behind the scene, just like my pastor has two bastard children, and he tries to correct me and don't like that, that I'm a blogger. We had Brian Carn in my church, and he got five bastard children, and said, "Well, well, you shouldn't talk about it." Well, why not?
Why not?
But
You got him.
he's okay to be a prophet and sit in the pulpit,
Right.
but you got a
Right.
problem with me, and I got to sit on the front row because I shouldn't be an elder and exposing stuff. Now, I told him I got more folks on my live than you have at your church. So, now what? Now what? And so the point that I'm making is, even though Bishop Long was wretched,
Yeah.
and I know people have a problem when I say this, but it's not about all the time what I do. It's about in whom and what I believe. And he yet respected church and respected that we still should represent and have a standard. And
Yeah.
then he even destroyed his own self in the fact that when he started letting his standard and his guard down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well,
that's just,
you bring up a very interesting point with it kind of brings a little thing to William leaving, because let me tell you, I've been minister of music at multiple churches, and I
right.
have been very close with these pastors, and I have held things that the body never needed to know that goes
And that you'll
on,
probably take to the grave.
and I'll take to the grave. So I'm sure William said, and these pastors sit you down because they are getting, pushback from the body or from the deacons or from the church, somebody who knows a situation. So that's probably why he sat him down. Probably would have swept it under the rug, because he know maybe William knew a little
I
bit
think
more.
that I think that the problem also, and especially when it comes to heterosexual sex, could you imagine if a sissy could get pregnant? Jesus. But
Ooh,
but
it
see,
would be enough.
the problem was that belly full of cum that was growing in her on a weekly
Right,
basis.
right.
And that sin could not be
Mm-hmm.
hidden. See,
Mm.
I've interviewed
The exclusive.
a Baptist pastor. I
Mm-hmm.
interviewed a Baptist pastor from San Francisco, California, that's very popular.
Mm.
And he told me, by no uncertain terms, was he a homosexual.
And you knew
What he
better than that.
said, but you know what he said? He said boys can't get pregnant.
So that means he wasn't pounding them.
He was screwing the hell out of them more than the law allowed, but he could screw them and screw them raw, and they
Mm.
did not get pregnant.
I bet you they got some other stuff.
The same way when the whole situation came out with Kobe Bryant, and you
Yeah.
remember we found out, that's when he said that a lot of the ball players would have sex anally with
Right.
women
Right.
because they couldn't get pregnant.
And I don't mean to, put but even when I was in school, I remember it was more on the white girls, but they would let the ball players screw them anally just so they can stay virgins. So
Right.
that theory is right.
That was another one. That was another one. If they mama or daddy ever took them to the doctor,
Right.
that whatever that skin or cervix or whatever that was
Mm-hmm.
called would all with that thinkster or whatever it's called would still be intact, so that they would exactly. And I went to parochial school.
Yeah.
That was another thing for a lot of the at Bishop O'Dowd. That was another thing for a lot, so that they couldn't get pregnant and so that they would remain remain.
Thais said he would be the mother of 14 by now. Listen.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to tell you, I know. Baby, and they would be retarded and have an eye right here, and well, honey, God knew what He was doing, not to let no sissy be able to have no baby. Baby, it would be so many retarded and mongoloid kids running around with 3 and 4 arms, and oh, God. You remember they used to take them kids away. They would say, well,
yeah,
he's going to cause you a lot of heartache and pain.
Right. Yeah.
So what do you want us to do?
Dispose
of them. Flush that mongoloid down the toilet. That's why we got so many retarded, especially here. If you're 50 and higher, you can have a whole bunch of retarded people. Now y'all keeping these mongoloids, and we gotta suffer with them. We gotta suffer with these. Talking about they special. Nah, they ain't special. You retarded. That's what you.
And our tax dollars paying for them.
Listen, when I was teaching school, they said, well, the girl is legally blind. I told her, I said, I cannot take all this pressure. I can't go and blow.
You could have helped her, William.
I can't. I said they was mainstreaming. I remember when they started mainstreaming special need kids. I said, no, I cannot take on all of it. I gotta blow up her test poster size. No. Hell no. I don't want to run off the test for these normal no good kids. You want me to blow it up all the way to size, look like a architectural rendering.
Moses Testament.
Roll it up like Old Scroll and bring it to class. Hell no, I'm not doing it. Not for this 50 cents. And so, that's just where it is. I'm going to say this. Getting back to Leandria and being a functioning alcoholic and traveling, what's wrong? It's an indictment on us and not on her. Because what's wrong with the church and with this Jesus that we are pushing and that we're selling, and one of the greatest spokespersons for that is it's not satisfactory enough for her.
Let me tell you this. The church wants your gift and can care less about the spirit man. I'm telling you. They want your gift.
Well, no, I don't. I disagree. Nobody reeled that out of control heifer in.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They wanted her gift, but they didn't want to reel her in and really
nobody wanted to say, when I was the one talking about her with a belly full of cum growing in her, and that she should be set down and that y'all should not make excuses. You all made excuses for the deplorable behavior. You made excuses for it. You booked her anyway. Albertina Walker came to my daddy's church drunk as Cooter Brown, and smoking. He sent Mama and them and told her, he said, throw that heifer in the
was she smoking?
No, she was a cocksucker.
Not
Honey,
my
Albertina,
Albertina. Not my
Albertina,
Albertina.
baby, she was a dyke showing up. And
Ooh, ooh,
he said, Jerry, put that heifer in the bathtub with some water. He said, this church is packed and she gonna sing tonight. And
That's what I'm saying.
they put her in a cold bath and got her to that church.
So this ain't nothing new for the people who think it
Because
is.
Albertina was 100 when she finally died.
At least.
And with them shades on. She was a drunk. She probably had a fifth of scotch in the casket with her.
That's why she was on that oxygen.
She was a drunk and a dyke. And y'all don't like nobody to tell you the truth. And I be looking at Dottie. Not Dottie. What's her name? What's the old lady name?
Dorothy Norwood.
Norwood.
Not that great storyteller. Not that great storyteller.
I be looking at her, and I ain't gonna say nothing about y'all other one down there. I ain't gonna say nothing about y'all, the man in North Carolina. I ain't gonna. Oh, y'all just love her so much.
Who in North Carolina?
She was a caravan too, baby.
Oh. Don't you say nothing about my Shirley. Don't you say it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But you know what? You know what I love about it though?
She ain't never had no child, has she?
No, she hasn't.
Dorothy ain't never had no child, huh?
Didn't they say that Shirley says somebody turned her out or something back in the day?
Albertina.
Oh, Jesus.
Albertina.
My Lord.
And see, you know, them lesbians could hide it. Them lesbians could hide it good.
Yeah, you know, that's the funny part about it. You got a bunch of lesbians running around these churches, going everywhere, and the gay boys just be, you know, they give it away. Just with the
they wild out,
and,
but see them women.
Yeah,
them women. I was watching this one dyke scrolled up, and she was preaching, and she went to prophesying, and I was kind of taken by her, you know, for a minute. And then so I went to her page. Holy Ghost said, that's a dyke. And baby, I clicked off of her so fast. I saw it was one. I finally saw one video. And that man stood up in her. I said, ooh, she more masculine than me. I said, oh, I got to get off of here. And I didn't like her no more. I didn't. I saw most times they can read and see they be lipstick. See, they
lipstick
put them
lesbians,
on and them lashes and that makeup, and see it don't be real apparent. And then the one thing about the lesbians, they'll break up, but they'll cover each other.
Yes, they will.
I know.
Yes, they
I
will.
know this one dyke she's on the road right now preaching, and she broke up with her lover. And see, ooh, I just be wanting to tell it. It's just on me so bad. I be wanting to say it. And she done broke up with her lover, but baby, they yet, you know, they yet cover each other.
Who, Jazz?
Nah, we know everybody. Ray Charles, though, that we don't even hear nothing from Jazz Shoelock no more, do we?
She's still over church somewhere. She be preaching. I got her on Instagram.
Oh, for real? I ain't heard nothing from her.
Yeah.
Nah, this is somebody different.
Oh.
Ooh, I can't say it's burning. I don't be because you know it'll be that slipped out, and then everybody be calling and cussing me out all night. So
and what else is new?
I gotta tell some, and I gotta keep some. I gotta take some to my grave. So that's the thing, dude. That you know what I'm saying? Like more so, this
Thais,
girl is a drunk. So she's going to, she's going to rehab.
well, she said she's gonna get help. So we don't know what that means. That can mean anything. That can mean I'm gonna call Pastor, Bishop Jakes and have him pray with me, or we don't know what that means. And they don't want to go to no rehab and not make no money. She got to make her money.
No,
She
she's
need,
got to get well.
yeah,
She's got to get well.
yeah.
She's,
But I
you
don't
know what I'm
know.
saying? She's got and whoever her music people, they've got to insist that she's got poor thing, singing about a
Mm-hmm.
Jesus that you don't know, singing about a heaven and you on your way to hell. See, y'all laughing, but I'm serious. It's so sad
I know. I
as you
know.
turn up. Pull that liquor out right now in the name of No, but I'm serious. It's so sad. That poor
What
girl.
what they said, Carolyn Showell gives me strong shoulder pads energy. I don't know what that means, Tai. I don't know what that means.
Well, they said Carolyn Showell was a lesbian for years.
Hmm. But they
But
speak on a lot of
I
gay
don't
stuff.
know. I like Carolyn, but see, I didn't meet Carolyn. I didn't meet Dr. Showell as a preacher. I met her. She was the dean of our leadership academy for the Winfrey Scholars. We would have to go and to spend our summers with her.
Oh.
And in Nashville, she led that. I think it was that scholarship. I think I had came from Goodyear Tires, and it was leaders from all over the country
Okay.
that and she would do our leadership academy.
Yeah, I liked
She,
her. I loved her and Iona Locke. I loved Iona Locke.
oh, you did, yeah. Iona
Hmm.
was good.
Yeah.
No.
Y'all still voting down there? Well, I mean, what's going on with I see you had Pelosi. They done beat that poor man. That he
Who?
ain't gonna be the same. Nancy's
Who?
wife, husband, Pelosi.
Yeah, somebody hit him in the head with a hammer or something, didn't they?
They said, "Where's Nancy?" They was gonna break her kneecaps.
Well, they that's when they discovered that they live separate.
So he don't live. They don't live together.
Uh-uh. She lives in Napa, and he's at the house in on the
San
top
Francisco.
of what is it, Nob Hill.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I'm wondering, was it some hanky panky with him and this David?
I don't know
Yeah, I'm wondering, was David his boyfriend?
because I don't know how they can easily get into that house while he's asleep.
Because he was there in that house already. And
I
then
don't
he
know.
went off or did something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Interesting.
Is what's her name down there in Georgia? The governor running for governor. Is she gonna win?
I don't know. The numbers are tight. That she did pretty well at the in the last debate on Sunday, but I don't know.
And I'm gonna need y'all to shut that
I
Walker down, Herschel.
Oh yeah, but you know what? Surprisingly, he is really giving in the polls. There, he's only 1 point behind Senator Warnock.
Do you think the Republicans care if he can talk right or not? They don't care. They just want that seat.
Well,
and
see,
he's
if they
black.
have that seat, then they're going to be able to vote against. Then the tie will be the majority will go in their favor,
Yeah,
and it won't matter that Kamala is vice president,
right, right.
and they'll be able to and see he's going to do just what they tell him. But see, I'm wondering, was it just like Jamal said, was it just too much for the world to have a Jew and a black man both go to Senate in the same year?
Mm, that, yeah, I didn't listen to his speech, but I've seen people sharing it. I didn't listen
Yeah,
to it,
he
what he
preached
was
really
saying.
he preached really well on Sunday.
Yeah,
He's good.
yeah.
He's really good. So I don't know. I mean, we've had more people early vote than in the history of early voting here.
Y'all got to get
So
out there and vote, 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 everybody.
yeah, I mean, it's critical. It is, but I don't want you to just vote, but let vote the right way. Because
Right.
we can be sending folks to the polls, and then and but see, I tell people all the time, like, I don't really drive outside of 285.
Mm,
You know what I mean? That,
yeah,
you've got to think about Hall County, and you got to think about like Dalton and
yeah,
Waycross, and, some of these, uh, towns that
yeah.
are still very, Billy Bob
Well,
and his red truck. Look at where Ahmaud Arbery was.
right,
And those
right.
three vigilant, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I hate to be, we talking about a heavy set. If Oprah might have still been on TV, it might have been a little different, but we talking about a heavy set black woman wearing natural hair with
Right.
a gap, looking like Aunt Jemima.
Right, right. But you're right, because people, they get turned off of certain things like that. They really
I don't know
do.
why she didn't put a little perm in her hair, and then she could have gone back to the natural.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Later on, I mean, it's about get the seat. It's about get the seat, get the win.
You
You
got
know.
you a troll. You might want to block her. Wilhelmina.
Oh,
She,
okay.
she wants to be famous today.
Oh, isn't that sad?
Well,
We
William,
had
today
we had
today is the
blocked them
first. We
one.
need to get a good offering today.
Yes, we got a lot on us going to the convocation and covering and then the studio, and y'all, shoot, today is the first, Saints. Today is the first. House the rent due here, and studio rent due.
So there's the cash apps, everybody. Sir William G. McCray, I. And then if you want to do Zelle, William G. McCray, I, at gmail.com. You spelled it wrong. You put an H, but it's at
Sure
gmail.com.
did. I
But
sure
everybody
did.
know that's
The
Gmail.
devil is at Gmail. So I appreciate all the help. I had another oh, now isn't that something? Nia Long's boyfriend, it looked like he's not gonna serve this whole suspension out with Boston. It looks like he's going on to the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, really? Okay.
It looks
Oh,
like he's going to go to the Brooklyn Nets. And so, which is interesting because they're going to totally bypass that whole NBA rule about, not fraternizing and having relationships with employees.
yeah. I'm the
And the
trustee,
Brooklyn Nets,
Hartford.
that's Jay-Z. You say what?
Yeah, you know, yeah, he cheated. He didn't kill nobody. He didn't, mess with a kid. If he needs to go to another place, he needs to go to another place. I'm open for that.
So you don't think that a year suspension was, see, I'm just trying to figure out how are they going to justify policing somebody's bedroom?
That's what my thing is. Get out of folks' bedroom. That's between him and Nia Long and that woman and her or whatever. That's that situation. That has nothing to do with his job, unless But I'm all for him going somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not for. I'm for some level of, because see, I don't know. For me, it's difficult for me because I wonder, had it been a white one, I mean, had it been a black woman, would the dynamic still been the same?
We wouldn't even heard about it. He would have been still coaching over there.
See,
It wouldn't have been an issue.
that's what it is. This idea that this big black man
Mm-hmm.
has taken advantage or manipulated this white girl.
Not at all.
It goes back to the whole Emmett Till situation. What are you doing whistling at a white woman?
Right. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Yeah, an advanced version, a modern day version of Emmett Till.
Yeah,
Not to
yeah.
the point of
So
lynching,
I
but
yeah, I'm for him. I'm for him continuing his opportunity. I think that some level of uh of reprimand on his, but see, now the other part of it has to be examined, is how many inappropriate relationships is going on
and see,
between
and yeah, that definitely
players.
has to be addressed. It definitely has
Yeah,
to be addressed.
between players and women,
Yeah,
and because I mean, I've covered sports long enough to know that it's been some situations with some women and with reporters, that can get to crossing some lines.
because you think them reporters go in them locker rooms and don't get a little wet.
It ain't no way that you can not, you know
Yeah,
it's too intimate of a setting.
right, right. So
even
no,
even with
yeah,
men going into the WNBA locker room,
exactly.
it's a very vulnerable, very uh intimate, personal kind of setting. And it's immediate, it's lights, camera, action. Depending on who the player is going to determine if they talk first. Now, the only thing that has kind of locked the locker room back down again is COVID.
Yeah.
And you have some players and some teams that are still not allowing, media into the locker room. Like, they'll bring, but the part about that that's not cool, and what I, raise a lot of hell about with, our teams here, is you're determining who I talk to. It's some players that's not marquee
Hold
that
on,
I
William.
don't want
No,
to.
Hartford is at gmail.com. His Zelle. William G. McCray at Gmail, not H. He just misspelled it.
I spelled it wrong. I Russian and did it wrong.
So when you send that $100, just make sure it's Gmail. All right.
Yes, sir. And so it it's sometimes and some of those have been some excellent interviews. You know,
Yeah,
it'll be a
yeah.
second string or a bench player, and you know everybody's over here trying to get to Stephen Curry, and I was, you know, over talking to Draymond or talking to Kyle or talking to, you know, another player that was on the team, and those were some of my better interviews.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it just, you know, it depends, but I do think, you know, yeah, I mean, and people are human, so there's going to be some lines
You know, and I'm so
drawn. I
tired
mean,
of
there's going to be
people.
some lines crossed.
I'm so tired of people putting others on certain, you know, expectations that they're not even under. You know, like you
Oh
said,
yeah,
humans, things happen. Things happen. And if they're wrong
exactly.
things, you apologize and you move on. You don't, you know, no. You can't demonize this man or whoever for all this a period of time while you have others doing worse that you just overlooked. You know, I
Exactly.
mean, yeah. So I'm glad to hear that someone else offered him another
Yeah, so they're gonna pick
team.
him up. It's still early on, still rumored right now, but it looks like that's definitely where he's gonna be going.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that looks like where he's gonna be going. Well, I tell you, man. Okay, what is Hartford says?
He's talking about the trustee. Yeah, please send your offering, and the church must go on now.
Yeah, we gotta continue on, and so I will be on. They're saying also they sent me this real cool notification saying that they're increasing, um, you know, my coming up in people's timeline, or you
The
know where
algorithms.
people said yeah. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's exciting.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
I didn't know MJ left the country.
Who?
The influencer, you remember the influencer named MJ?
Hmm. I
He
don't
did
know
a
if I
lot of
do.
stuff with Oprah, and then
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah,
would
yeah, yeah.
come
Yeah,
on.
he lives in like Dubai or somewhere. Where does he live?
Yeah, they said he left. I didn't realize that he left
Who's doing all
the
these
US.
mad faces? If what you say, William, if you're mad, why you here?
Look, scratch your ass and get glad. That's you know, we haven't had any trolls in a while, but I guess so. That's one of
Maybe
the
they don't like me. They probably don't like me.
hey, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. Move right on. We'll drink to that. Yeah, me turn up too.
There's many people who don't like me. Cheers.
Hey, I may not be your cup of tea. Drink coffee.
That's right. I mean, they still going with them. But so you have to go. You have to look and who did that later on, and then block them. Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, y'all, I appreciate everybody being on. We've had a excellent discussion on tonight, and I'm gonna be very frank with you. I am, I'm disturbed by the situation with Leandria. I really am.
Like I say, it disturbs me too because, like I say, even when she sat there talking about it, people were encouraging and you know and there for her, but it's still like, girl, sing deliver me. Come on, sing deliver me. It's like they still just want the gift, and I don't
But
know if they
what do you think is
genuinely.
the core? What do you think is the core problem?
I think she has some deep rooted issues in her life that she hasn't explored and resolved. Ayala didn't fix her life, or maybe she.
Well, I don't
Yeah,
think. I mean, that was only one episode.
right.
I think it takes time and some years of of, you know, therapy or what have you that would, you know, really get to the root of the matter.
And I'm sorry. And if you allow yourself to be so consumed with church and church antics and church things and not have a relationship, that can drive you crazy. It can drive you crazy. So I don't know what her true issue is. That's, you know, because she's, you know, she's had babies out of wedlock multiple times. She's an alcoholic, and everybody has their you know, their vice, but we see hers because she's a public figure. And it's like she sat on that stage telling her testimony and saying that she's an alcoholic, like a
Y'all
cry
don't
for
let
help.
these mad faces outdo y'all. Now y'all should be countering with a whole lot more hearts and a whole
Yeah,
lot more thumbs up than some troll.
because they even going in the comments and putting mad face. Listen, like you say, I don't follow nobody. I don't keep up with nobody that I don't like.
That's it.
I
I
don't do
mean,
it.
and they are on. Let me see who it is.
Yeah, see who it is.
But you know, that is one of the really that's one of the real disturbing things about it is that, you know, that I'm gonna have to put up a moderator
Yeah,
or
make me a moderator on your page.
is that okay? You know,
And like
yeah, then we can
horse,
go on and we can go
Hor-
on and resolve that, because
like
then you can
Horacella
go
says,
in.
and it's probably the truth. She believes that, you know, that she told Ayana that she doesn't want to sing gospel anymore. Make me a moderator on your page. She believes that, you know. You got to turn that down.
I did.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay. She doesn't. I don't. She doesn't want to sing gospel anymore, William. And I think it's. I don't know if she knows how to express that. I don't know. She told
But I don't
Ayala
think.
that.
But first of all, I just don't think she knows how to do another. And that's one of the things that one of those artists that I interviewed said. He told me that gospel was just as much of a genre as, you know, R&B, and that he
Yeah.
wasn't obligated to necessarily live, you know, like a preacher or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
He and so but I think it's something that, you know, it's got to be, you know, a war going on inside of her
It is. Yeah.
to stand and have to represent, you know, night after night, uh
Yeah.
something that's, you know what I'm saying, that's not down in you. Like
Yeah.
even with these, you know, like even with these guys, it's, you know, they're standing up preaching, they're standing up singing, and deep down inside they got this, you know, this lust and this desire, you know, that's that's kind of a direct contradiction to what they stand for and supposedly represent.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, you know, they love the attention, what being a pastor, what being an artist, what all that brings, but they're not taking into consideration what's deep down in them and how that may manifest itself, and you not be ready to address it or deal with it, you know. And I think that's where she's at. It's just, like you say, it's like with what pastors and things. We found out that they've been screwing, you know, everybody, you know, on the low. It's just they haven't really dealt with what's going on, but they want the fame, they want the money, it, you know, they want
But
the
I mean,
attention.
she could have so much more because I mean, Fantasia has that churchy sound and style
Right,
to her voice, and she's
right.
very much R&B. So I think she could really excel. I think she could really
Yeah.
have, I think she could really have a, banging, booming, career.
If you go
Um,
to any concert like a Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, Angie Stone, any concert, let us see, any concert you go to, they're giving you gospel. They're going to give you some gospel, and it's not a fake thing. It's just what's
it's just a
in
part
them.
of who they are, and it's
It's
a
part
part
of
of
who they
that
are.
growing up in the whole
Yeah.
church thing. Yeah,
Sing
yeah.
about love, but bring it on home to your foundation.
Even
You know,
Charlie Wilson.
right, right.
Charlie, his dad or uncle, one of them was a COGIC superintendent.
Yeah,
The Gap Band came out of the church. They came out of Church
right.
of God in Christ.
Exactly.
In Tulsa. I think it was either Tulsa or Oklahoma City. Yeah. So, I mean, but mm, it ooh. But you know what? It's a lot of preachers and it's a lot of first ladies that are drunks.
Yeah, yeah. Cokeheads. Yeah, there is.
And coping with trying to, present an image that is not really you and not really down on the inside.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that war. See, that's why you start drinking because you're at such a war, with who you really are, and then because see you.
yeah, yeah.
You
And
know
your
what I'm saying?
spouse
I
know you.
know no matter what you try to
Yeah,
put out and project in front of other people, the real you, who you are down on the
yeah.
inside. And that conflict. Whew.
Did you see Hunk for Jesus?
Oh, no.
You need to see Hunk for Jesus so we can talk about it. Because let me tell
Okay.
you, it's
Because
it's
I always thought it was a comedy, but they said it was a loose parody on Eddie Long.
it's a loose parrot, but it is definitely something that you're talking about. And I used to say, you hear everybody say, "Oh, that poor first lady, what she has to deal with." Oh, but these first ladies get used to the money, the notoriety also. So don't
Being
put it off on the
celebrated, and
yes.
now the way they're trying to glamorize it and make it like they strolling in like they on the red carpet and all.
Yeah, like them
They like
clowns.
all of that,
What was them
and
clowns in
they
blue?
are willing to sacrifice themselves
Yeah,
and go through hell
yeah,
and all kind of humiliation and whatever that they're going through or that they have to face because look at Bridget strolling in with
that's
Platter.
that's what I'm talking about with Platter, and that was so ridiculous. Knowing this man ain't thinking about her, ain't thinking about her.
To the lead, got her to pay his now murdered friend or possible lover the down payment money that was needed to with that rental place or rental situation um, that Ryan was a part of to get
Right,
in the townhouse that they live in currently.
right, right.
you know.
Right.
And I mean, and whew, throughout our denomination, it's so many. You
Somebody asked
know,
about B. Slade.
it's one right now. The only reason why I haven't ever said anything about him is because his wife works for the FBI, and I don't know what kind of level of retaliation that she
Oh,
might would
okay.
try to bring.
Well, let me shut up.
You know,
So,
and so
somebody asked about B. Slade. No, he's still in. B. Slade is on tour with Patti LaBelle. He does her heavy lifting for singing. High notes he hits them for. He's not doing any church anymore. He only did his
no,
daddy's
he's been
church.
Tone has been out of church for a while.
Yeah. He was over that City of Refuge. I think they was trying to make him over the music or do something, but then he got the gig with Patti LaBelle, so he's been on the road with Patti.
Well, I thought Patrick and Diedrich Hatton's brother had that pretty much on lock.
Well, Dietrich Haddon brother, they left about 3 years ago. They where you at now. They got their own church.
Oh, is he? I didn't even realize
Him
that.
and Tammy.
Look at how late I am.
Yeah, they left City of Refuge. They're in, I believe, Atlanta. They got their own church.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Diedrich
Mm-hmm.
Hatton's brother.
Gerald. Gerald Hatton.
Yeah, Gerald. Oh, okay.
And
Well, you
Tammy.
know,
Yeah,
Quay here.
I
It's
forgot
some
the
of
name of their
everybody
church.
here.
Everybody's in Atlanta. Everybody.
And it's so spread out. I mean, it's
Yeah.
almost they're going out now as far as it used to only be about maybe 10 to 15 miles, but now they're going out as far as like 30 miles outside of the A.
But see what happened, they left City of Refuge and went to Dream Center. And that lasted about 2 weeks. Then all of a sudden they went to start
You
their
know
own
what? You're
church.
exactly right.
Yeah.
But you know
Yeah.
what? For whatever reason, they are emptying out of that Dream Center.
What's going on over there?
I don't know. I don't know because
Mm.
I was talking to a strong member that was there, and I was surprised. I can't call her name, but I was surprised that she had left. And
Oh,
she said
wow.
her and her sister had been gone for a little while.
Mm.
And then I don't even hear about it like how, you know, how you hear about different things on Sunday. Like I haven't heard of anybody being over there in a while. I haven't heard Todd being there or
I saw a service, but I couldn't. He kept up a famous or well-known worship leader, but I don't know who
who's
that
there
guy
now?
was. Huh?
Who's over there now?
I don't know. I don't know who that guy was I saw. I don't know. I don't know who he
Yeah,
was.
see, I don't know. And then Tiffany, she's over with Jamal, so
Yeah.
I don't even know who he has there with him now. And I
Yeah.
just don't hear about it, but
Mm.
so
Yeah.
wow. I know they just had Propel, what was it? Week before last.
Oh, okay. Okay. What do you think about this
Um
Pilgrim
J-
Assembly?
Joseph Walker. I don't know them. Who are
No, not
they?
Joseph Walker. Pilgrim Assembly. He took over Brown's organization.
Oh yeah, the boy from he was on Amen.
Amen. Used to be on Amen. Yeah. He's that
Yeah, he's
organ.
out of what, Chicago,
He's
right?
out of Chicago. That organization.
I was so the problem with him, for me was when he wiped his sweat with the pall that was on the casket. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
they have all Roy Brown was good friends with Bishop Owens and started his own thing with Pilgrim. So I don't know. They've always been a little different to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but
Mm.
they say he seems to be, pretty good. So
Yeah. I see a lot of people joining Vincent
Yeah.
Bohannon is with him too.
Who is that?
You know Vincent Bohannon from New York. We will fight.
Oh, the boy. You know, his choir has seemingly settled down because every week it was something with them. Now it seems like they kind of all then leveled out and I guess
I
on their
think he
best
just made
behavior
like
now.
he put out a song with his Atlanta-based choir. He has a
He was
choir in
putting out
Atlanta.
an album like every other week. It seemed
Yeah.
like him and Ricky. They were. I was like they. I mean, oh, what you call? How did did Mississippi go? Didn't they do a recording Friday?
Yeah, I did. I just saw. I think they had Tina Campbell singing a song, but that's all I saw about it. I didn't see much about it.
Oh, okay. Because it was supposed to have been a lot of people from here, driving down. I said, shoot, all roads lead to Memphis. It wasn't no way that I was,
Not
I
with those
wasn't doing that.
prices. Not with those room and flight prices. I tell you got to hunker down until
Oh
Memphis.
my God, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I appreciate you. Go on and
All right, man.
make your final appeal before
All
I
right,
kick you off.
everybody. Let's do Sir Williams good tonight. It's the first. It's the first of the month. I know y'all had bills, but you know what? You got to sow into some good ground. So at Cash App,
Yeah.
Sir William G. McCray III, and if you have Zelle, William G. McCray III at gmail.com. So go ahead and just send what you can. We like the stuff that jingles, but we really appreciate the things that fold. All right, Robert. Robert, hey, good night, Robert. He's always fun. Hartford, some other folks. I see y'all. All right, William.
All right, man. I appreciate you.